Okay, and we are live. I'm going to start the song over. We are live. I don't know why I tell you I'm saying this hard, but I do. And okay, we are live. I'm going to send out the tweet and the blue sky, and I want to say hello. Welcome to Movie Crap Live, your weekly movie entertainment news thing, whatever. And we're here. We're doing it. Thank you, Super Dusky. I want to say hello to Purple Goop, Cornbread, Zane Powers, Rum Ham. How's it going? I haven't seen you a little bit. Super Dusky. If I didn't say that one. K-Master, Zane Powers. I saw Austin up there. No, Austin's right there. Sorry. Classic Cameron, Jordan Salaflo. We got a crowd. A cool crowd tonight. Pup is here. Everybody's here. This is a show, and we're doing it. All right. Should I switch over? I think I should switch over to... Hello. I'm in the classic location with all my lights and everything. It's wonderful. Okay. Welcome. Jim, you're my favorite new... Thank you. Hey, Nathaniel Folk. How's it going? Welcome to Movie Crap Live. I am here talking about entertainment news and all of that stuff. It's been hey Javier Portello. It's been a crazy, stressful week, but we're here now. We're doing this, and this will be cool. That's what I'm focused on presently. Yeah. Now that it's starting, I'm like, whoa, this week was a little crazy. I don't think anyone got the... Well, if anyone has a super chat, they can get the energy. I was going to say, I don't think anyone got the energy drink thing. But, yes. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. It's been an interesting week. Will is here. But anyway, I'll just get into my little pre-roll thing. So, I'm going to tell you, this is probably a uniquely me thing, but I think it is interesting. So, last week, in Movie Crap Live continuity, Robert Redford died. And on Sunday night, I was like, you know what? I would really like to watch a Robert Redford movie. And I was like, I should do, like, when I'm telling people on the Twitters, I was like, I gotta watch, this is a real thing. I gotta watch a movie I haven't seen. And then I go, oh, The Natural. There's a Saja Boys Energy. If they sell it and I can find it, I will do it. But I haven't seen it yet. That's not what it is tonight, though. I should find The Natural. And every Robert Redford movie, like Butch Cassidy, The Sting, like all the big ones, we're all on MGM Plus, which I'm like, why does Prime have a separate service? What the fuck? So anyway, I'm like, I'll do The Natural. It's also directed by Barry Levinson, who's like a big Baltimore director. There's considered, like, when I was a kid, it was John Waters, Barry Levinson. And I've noticed, like, he's very much a boomer director, and no one past the boomers gives a shit about that guy. Okay, congratulations on your transition. But yeah, so I'm like, anyway, Barry Levinson. So I'm like, I should watch it. It's a Barry Levinson I haven't seen, and I would like to eventually see. He's not my favorite, even though to me the two Baltimore filmmakers are John Waters and David Simon at this point, but whatever. So I couldn't find it, but on the Internet Archive, this is a real thing that I really did, and I have it on my Plex. You can find it. I found The Natural, but someone recorded it off TV when it aired on like ABC or whatever in Florida. Because I used to go to I'm not joking. I used to go to the thrift stores and just buy tapes, and they'd be like recorded like all over the country, especially in New York for some reason. So you get like these weird, I had a Beavis and Butthead marathon I used to watch all the time. And it was taped in like Connecticut, how it got there. I mean, it sort of makes sense. But yeah, so I've heard The Bay is actually good. That one I need to check out. But anyway, so I watched all of The Natural with commercials from the 80s. The Natural is not actually very good. It's like the whole movie, they're like, is this guy going to cheat on baseball? And the whole time you're like, he's definitely not going to do that. He's not going to do that. And then some lady at the beginning shoots him randomly, and it's like, so I don't understand. But my favorite part of this movie, other than the 80s commercials, which are just as patriotic as the shitty car commercials now, like that just hasn't changed. It's just how they make them. which I found interesting. I was like, oh wow, we always suck. Um, is every time he's about to pitch the ball, you know what I mean? Because he's like a pitcher and shit or whatever. I don't know. Like he's about to pitch, and he gets in the stance, and then he throws the ball, and it's like cut, 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 and then someone goes, "That's amazing!" And you're like, I was like, dude, what? It's clearly like he did not throw the ball. Like they edited it to look like, which you would never do now, but it's like so funny. I was like, like, like I don't know. It was like the funniest. I was like, this is ridiculous. But every time you do the stance, you'd look at him and you'd be like, oh man, that looks like a pitcher. And then there'd be like cut to reaction, glove, this, that, and then anyway, the natural's not really that good. Robert Redford was good in it, but it was sort of like something like a performance that Kelly Reichardt could have made great, but Barry Levinson, I don't. Diner's great, Wag the Dog's great, but a lot of his schmaltziness is not my thing. I think it's also like John Waters is cool, David Simon is cool, Barry Levinson, he won an Oscar, good for him. I should do more plotting, but no, it's just like the whole time. It's like they keep in like, hey, maybe you should throw the game, and it's like very clear from this dude's personality, he just won't. So it's like there's no tension. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Austin says director of Wag the Dog. You are right, and I will Wag the Dog is up there. I'd say for him. I think Wag the Dog. I would put up the Rain Man. I guess is a big one in the Oscar schmaltz category. Hey, Sinram's here. Okay, director of. Let me like that. Sorry, I want to get my monitor. It was at sale in the grocery store. It's called Form Energy. I don't know what it is. I just saw it was different, and since we have this bit going, but as its little logo on the little tab here, so you know that's good. Some of them do, some of them don't. Monster does. Cheers to y'all. They all say natural energy. They all say that shit. I don't know. They all seem to think like, no, it's natural. Like, I don't give a shit. This tastes like somebody made it in the fucking lab. You can tell me it's natural energy, you fucking idiots. Anyway, hey, Nolan's here. How's it going? Nolan's here. Cinram's here. Everybody's here. But anyway, that's my story of watching The Natural, and I do not understand. I seriously don't understand why. And then I read the explanation because it's not even a real story. They like made it up, and it like makes. They're like, it doesn't make sense why they. It's like I'm like, whatever, boomers. Sometimes I'm just like, y'all did not care about plot. Sometimes I don't know. I think 8 Man Out is a better talk about the gambling and baseball thing. Anyway, sorry. That's why you came to hear about the early 20th century gambling and baseball scandal. Disney needs Kevin James desperately. Block C, you are right. I'm sorry I went on that rant. I just thought you guys would think, I don't know. I will post the link to the Internet Archive of this thing. It's a real thing of The Natural on TV from Florida. I'll post it in the Discord because it's a real thing. You can watch The Natural for free from a TV recording. Cheers to you, Blacksea. Kevin James rolls. From Livin' Maddie to grown-ups. All right. Videos. I think last week one was pretty much my 2 videos I've hyped too much on this stream. One being Bad Guys 2. The other being the music I made right after Knock Force. That I've been talking about forever. If you notice my visualizer, I don't know if I'll do that again. I don't know if people liked that visualizer, I guess. But it was a fun thing to do. So yeah, I think this weekend one of them would probably be my segment tonight, which will be Knights of Guinevere. So that'll probably come out soon, but I want to have something in between so you're not feeling like you're watching the same shit twice in a row, you know what I mean? But just because that's a new thing and I'd like to get it out, sort of, even though I'm a week late. Throwbacks. I had The Martian, Violator on the Hook, which came out this past weekend, which is my dad's short film, which is great. I'm trying to get it on a Philadelphia throwback Facebook group. Will, I'll get to you 1 second. Sorry. And then, Inherent Vice is on Friday, obviously because of Paul Thomas Anderson, as well as it's also his movie. It's another adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon book. And then Hotel Transylvania 2 this Sunday. You can watch those now if you want. They're on YouTube, but if you want to wait till they get posted on the community tab, then you can. Will says Barry Levinson really astounds me. He's got so many cool genre movies under the belt, but then you get Man of the Year. Watch it for the first time this year, and wow, that was weak. The Bay's fantastic though. I have heard The Bay is really good. No, but I will straight up say, like, Diner, really great, but then Diner is like these guys hang out in very natural kind of thing with it, but then The Natural is very like purpose, very well choreographed, made kind of bullshit. And it's just like he is a very strange filmmaker. He almost has sort of an auteur thing, but then he leaves it, and it's like he is a weird guy. He's a bigger deal to me because if when I was in a film in Maryland, he was a very big director to most people. And I know he is a big director, like Rain. He won Best Director at the Oscars. He is a big director, but he was much bigger because he was always compared to Waters. But like John Waters is the Baltimore. I think John Waters is a better filmmaker, to be honest with you, because there's only one John Waters. But like, could someone else have directed Rain Man? Maybe not Diner, but like a lot of his movies. Not trying to be an asshole, but like, it's. I don't think I'm incorrect on it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Well, cheers to you. I don't like his son at all, and I have a whole thing with it. My thing with his son is, hold on, cheers to you, is who did Euphoria. It's like his dad moved him away from Baltimore to be in LA, and he lived in this nice neighborhood, and he stayed away from all the drugs and stuff. And then he made like a stylized show about what that was like, and I was like, I grew up with people like that shit, and it's not cool. Like, it's not like fun and sexy, especially like if you're older looking back. It's just like depressing. So anyway, sorry, let's not. I'm really fucking. This is not why anyone showed up. All right. let's do. First up, before I do this, sorry, I really. What was I gonna say? Before I say the Patreon, for some reason I do need to look into this, because I literally was talking to someone about how I need to set up my Patreon post, and I remember timing it, and then I looked and I didn't get to check, and then I looked before the stream and it wasn't there. The second like movie crap tonight kind of thing. So I apologize to my patrons for that. I'm really confused at this point. I need to check. I didn't. This week's been a little nuts, so I apologize for that. But I don't know what's going on, because I was like, wait, I had like someone in the room with me at this point. Like, so clearly, like, I do need to check, but it's like something fucked up, and I'm confused because I saw it say scheduled, and I don't know if that post. I feel like some of these posts are gonna like show up randomly years later or something. Anyway. So apologies to any of my patrons because of that. It seems like you're all here anyway, but just in case. Okay. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either from a super chat during the show, where I'll read off your thing and it will give me energy, which I, trust me, very much need. So you'll see my energy bar go up or whatever. As well as you get all sorts of or you can join my Patreon, where you get all sorts of cool stuff, like my commentary series, the movie review vote winners thing, which will hopefully come out this weekend, as well as you get more power in the movie review vote. You get some of my commentary series, which some of that is coming out. The next one's going to be Watcher, which is obviously a longer commentary. It'll be a Patreon exclusive, as well as all my other commentary series, as well as my public access show, which if you're a patron, is the only way you can watch it on demand or watch it anywhere other than one episode that's on YouTube randomly. So yes, you get all sorts of cool stuff, including postcards, which I mailed out last week, and everything like that. It's all there. It's all there. If you're financially able to do so, it very much helps me be able to continue to do this and do what I do, and hopefully get a new mic, because this thing is not doing so good, and all sorts of stuff like that. This computer is bought from fan. From you guys and stuff like that. So it very much helps me to continue to do stuff and do flyers and stickers and all that stuff. And I very much thank you for doing so, if you're financially able to do so. If you are not, just liking this helps out, and subscribing if you have a YouTube account, I very much appreciate it. But if you do not, that is fine. Just watching this always helps. Just watch. If you just watch regularly, you are supporting the show. I will say, going back to even my Cleats to Feast days, I've always had a lot of people who are not able to give anything, and I very much thank you just for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. I'm very thankful for anyone who watches. It's very nice of you. As well as we have the Discord, which is an amazing, great community. They do movie watches every week. I'm not sure what they're doing this week. I know Cornbread said they can talk about the Peacemaker show, which I have not watched at all, but I've heard is very good. And he, as well as there's the general one where I ask like, what do you want me to talk about on movie crap this week? Oh, they're doing Fantastic Mr. Fox. That's a good idea. Cornbread does thumbnail predictions. I updated the licensed playing card channel. I have my Scooby Doo cards. You see here, it's Scooby Dooby Doo right there. My son loves Scooby Doo. I don't think these cards will last long, so because my kids love Scooby Doo. Hey Gary, how's it going? Oh, cool, Gary's here. But I do. It's a really wonderful community. I have a great community. This is a great chat. I'm very lucky to have you such a wonderful community. So if you'd like to hang out with everyone in the chat and you can't be here normally or anything like that, you should join the Discord. It's a great community run by Cornbread, Ryan Walterson, Austin, and Zane Powers, and do a wonderful job. Okay, so I'm basically going to talk about Jimmy. I'm not going to be able to do timestamps. I'm going to tell. Oh, cool. I am definitely not Gary, but congratulations. I think Nathaniel Fogel will. I don't know. I'm not sorry. Nathaniel, if I'm speaking for you, but you probably. But nice, good job, man. Congratulations. What was I gonna say? Yes, I'm not gonna be able to do timestamps because I have to do a lot of stuff after the stream and probably will pass out after that. I did do timestamps last week. I did some of them the night before, but finished it the next day. So I actually did timestamps this time, and I'm gonna try to do them tomorrow. So I'll have you know I'm trying to do better on that front, but I don't know. This will probably be tomorrow. But I will say that the beginning of this, oh my God, someone get Gary to sign a Dark City DVD. I'm telling you now, please do that. It'd be like, Jim, let me borrow this so you could sign it. I would please, Nathaniel Fogat. I need that picture of you. That's a Ryan Walterson joke if there ever was one. Anyway, if someone wants to, if multiple people do, I would. Oh my God, wonderful. And I haven't labeled Gary's Dark City. Anyway, sorry. But the beginning of this will be about the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, and then will be about Disney and all that stuff, and then we'll move on to other things. Obviously, that's like the biggest story. Demon Slayer is also going to be in the box list thing later. So, what happened with Jimmy Kimmel? Obviously, you know he is back. He came back on Tuesday. The FCC manager has denied the suggestion that he said someone should do something, even though we literally have a video of him saying that, but he claims that wasn't what he was doing that we literally saw him do. So, okay. And then, but yes, Jimmy Kimmel came back on Tuesday. It got a huge rating. It was off in, I think, a certain percentage of the country. I'm not sure, but supposedly, it's even though he was off in both Sinclair and Nexstar, so they will not air Jimmy Kimmel at this time. That once he came back, but he still got 6 million, which for a late night show, anytime, that's a pretty big number. It's not like, I don't know. It's not, I'm not sure where it lies, but that episode did insanely well. And I understand like last night's as well. He's sort of having a bit of a comeback, which he deserves after all this nonsense. Some of their thing with Jimmy Kimmel, the conservative thing, is they feel there should be a conservative host on, one of the networks. I sort of understand that to a degree of like fairness or whatever. Also, like they're all the late night hosts are sort of very, like between Fallon, Kimmel, and Colbert, the difference between those guys is not extreme enough. So I get sort of that, but it's also like you guys have like stupid Gutfeld and all this shit. Like I think there is one. So like their whole like, but we should have our own thing. Like you guys have a lot of your own things. I sort of get like the idea, but whatever. But Jimmy Fallon's return, I didn't particularly love. I saw Colbert's first episode after his whole thing. His I liked his episode a lot better. But the thing is about um, that is like Kimmel did like basically a monologue, a commercial break, and then another monologue. And I don't know if he does that. Um, like I don't does he do that normally? It was very long and like some of it yeah, it was heartfelt, but I don't think he's very funny and like it just some of it was like a little like whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'm glad he is there. It's fine that he's there. He should be, hey, Medela Butterfly. He should be there and have his show or whatever. I don't want him silenced for speech and stuff, but I just don't. I didn't think it was very good. Whereas Colbert, I thought it like really turned that show around. It was like kind of unwatchable when I tried to watch it before, and now I turn on and it's actually really good. But I think Kimmel, like, it didn't really change my opinion on him personally. Um, but as for what Disney is doing with this, first off, the networks that will, and this is actually true, who took him off could actually face serious fines for this. And this is part of it that is really kind of interesting. So each deal with each affiliate is different. So we don't like there isn't one like base level thing for like most entertainment. There's no base level contract. Um, but each deal is unique. However, they have a contract that they're supposed to air ABC stuff no matter what. They have certain exemptions in the contracts. There's a certain number which almost everyone's like you're gonna run out if you use those like every day. No one's sure the exact number on each of them, but ABC could be like, hey, you're in breach of contract at this point. We're pulling our fucking content and we'll go somewhere else. The other thing that they can very much do if you exempt it enough is they can put Jimmy Kimmel on another channel in that market. So you could be competing with a show that you contractually should be playing. And that's going to be hard also for investors and Wall Street to deal with Sinclair and Nexstar, which is going to be a huge issue for both of them. And almost everyone's like, Wall Street is not okay with this. So, like, actually, financially, they might have bigger problems. They actually have to pay a fee every time they exempt something, too. So, like, financially, this is the dumbest shit ever. And apparently, from the ratings data we do know, the Family Feud reruns and the longer cable, local news shit they did play did not do better than what Kimmel did normally in that slot. So this is like financially not working out whatsoever. Not that you would think they would, but it's just kind of ridiculous. And apparently, like a lot of people are saying, like if Nexstar does go through with this merger, it's really not a lot of Wall Street's not going to be okay with it. They're not going to be able to get investors going forward. It might end up ruining their business because they're going to look like kind of idiots because this is like one of the dumb it's not like financially if like especially he's like killing it in the ratings and on YouTube and stuff. It's hard to go to your investors and be like, well, we do make most of our money off other stuff like football and even Jimmy Kimmel on his monologues. Like Disney's most of these are huge networks and like he's not the biggest thing and most important aspect of it, but he's still something that draws and makes money. And it's hard to go to your boss and be like, well, why didn't you make money? Well, I didn't like what he said about, that conservative guy. I know I'm not mentioning that guy's name. He's not worth it for me. But this is going to end up hurting both of them as they're trying to merge with other people and need more investor money. And it's like they're trying to appease someone who now is denying he asked them to. And it's basically like every industry person is like, what are you guys doing? Like effectively. Oh, thank you, Medela Butterfly. Early on in the night. Cheers to you, man. Cheers to you. So there you go. So it seems like they're actually not, if you were thinking like this is working out for the conservatives, it isn't. It is not working out for anybody. The Trump administration is getting huge blowback on it. The networks who started this is not getting paid off to do it. They're actually losing a ton of money every night they do this because they have to pay a fee. They might be in breach of contract and lose all the ABC shows. and ABC could go somewhere else. And it might just happen like randomly throughout these different affiliates. This is one of like business wise, this is becoming a dumber and dumber move as time goes on. And I don't know what exactly their game plan is, other than they think this merger will go through. But when it goes through, they probably can't get Wall Street money, because I actually read Wall Street analysts who are like, these guys are idiots. Like, just air fucking Jimmy Kimmel. Like, you're not, like, if they had something that countered him, like, then maybe they'd go, okay, sure, but you're having to make up not only the ratings, but a huge fee to do this for preemption. And you only have a certain amount of those, and then you're in breach of contract. And in fact, if ABC wants to play hardball, which I really do think they should, is they could, on like after on CBS, they just have that syndicated show, Comics Live Unleashed with Byron Allen. They could definitely push that back. No offense to Byron Allen and that show and stuff. But they could push that back, and literally on CBS, this is a hypothetical, by the way. No one's done this, but they could literally go Colbert Kimmel. That would kill. That would just destroy in the ratings. You want to watch Kimmel? Watch it on CBS at 12:30. Or Fox. Fox wouldn't do this because it's fucking Fox. But you know what I mean? The Fox affiliate could be like, you want to watch Jimmy Kimmel? 11:30, watch Fox. And then what are they going to tell their investors? Oh, the show that's killing it in the ratings, you just gave to a different company because you didn't like a sort of truthful thing he said? Like, Wall Street's just laughing at them. Like, there's just no, if financially this worked out in any way, I think there'd be a little more of a argument, but there is no argument. They just look like idiots. And this is going to make people not want to work with them. So if you're like, oh, this is, cancel culture, or this is a thing. No, they just look stupid. There's no way this doesn't look stupid. I just love, anyway, looking at the industry thought, I like how much the industry was like, no, you guys just fucking suck at this point. Like, there is no way around it. And apparently these affiliates overall total, someone calculated that they're losing about $20 million in ad revenue because of this. So good for them, I guess. But that isn't obviously most of their money. They're getting it from football, but they're fucking up. That's the interesting side I want to talk about, was that I don't know. I know Kimmel does it differently. I actually did think he was going to do a thing like what Colbert did, where like all these late night hosts did cameos and stuff like that. But the De Niro thing was all right. I watched the whole episode and I saw the Sarah McLachlan part. I saw the Lilith Fair documentary, which was interesting. I actually thought didn't know it ran for 3 years. I thought it ran for 2 years. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But it was actually very interesting. I didn't know a lot of stuff. Anyway, the only other thing that's really important in this is that Disney itself might get sued. There's a real suggestion. This isn't even a joke. The corporate, man, I hate when you go to a site and it's like tells you how to turn off ad blocker, and it's like, fucking okay, I get it. And then they're like, whatever. Anyway, sorry. Apparently the Disney shareholders are threatening legal action to know about the improper political affiliate pressures, and they're really not happy about the everyone went down, and there's a credible basis to suspect that the board and executives may have breached their financial fiduciary duties of loyalty, care, and good faith by placing improper political or affiliate considerations above the best interests of the company and its shareholders. There is, like, I'm not even joking, everyone who is involved in this is getting fucked by this other than Jimmy Kimmel. There's like no, there's like Bob Iger, this is a stain on his legacy. The shareholders who like love this dude now don't. It is like hilarious how much of a, like, as days go on, how stupid this looks for all of them. Which I agree, it is stupid, and they shouldn't have caved to this pressure of the FCC chairman. Also, why are you appearing on a weird conservative podcast on Twitter? Fucking, this whole thing is immensely stupid, and the fact that this is like, this has really hit Disney. And the other thing, and I brought this on Twitter, but sorry if I bring up my Twitter and all that. The other thing that's hilarious is Elio came out on that Wednesday that this whole thing happened. Like, Elio came out the day on Disney Plus. It came out the day the Jimmy Kimmel controversy happened, and then everyone's pulling out and like canceling their subscriptions. Like, that movie can never catch a break. It is like almost like I kind of feel bad for him at this point. Like I was just like, whoa, you can't even catch a fucking break, dude. Like you're just fucked. There's like no way around it. Um Anyway, so basically, if you're wondering, is anyone prospering from this? Only Jimmy Kimmel. But who should prosper from this is Jimmy Kimmel. I don't really think he's funny. He's not someone I've ever liked. But like, I agree he should be doing well from this. So just, you know, hey Georges, how's it going? But yeah, just so you know, if you're ever like, did these idiots have to pay for this? Yes, they fucking did, and thank fucking God. I love that everyone, like even what's her name, Dana Walden, I think, who is the head of ABC TV, whose thing as the heir apparent, even she's getting dragged. Like, there's no one other than Kimmel. Like Trump looks stupid. He's saying he's going to sue over a mythical thing that like someone told them they were canceled. You can't sue someone. How would you sue someone over that anyway? Zane Powers, everything is coming up Kimmel. Um, uh, like corporate. That's funny. Why are cancels some churches over reality? I mean, they knowing how that all went down, you probably should. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Everything going. I like that one. Hey, Kirby, dude. All right. In other Disney fuckery, I might have to go get Buster. We might have a Buster. He's not. He's sort. He's doing okay, but he wanted to go outside to look for, and that was a little heartbreaking. But he's having a hard time. Anyway, Disney Plus decided because they really wanted to say there were two things they announced. I'll get into the other thing in a second. But the one thing they wanted to announce that they were planning on announcing is there's going to be a price hike. That it will go up from Disney's plan with ads will increase by $2 to $11.99. While its ad-free tier will increase by $3. Hulu will increase the prices the same day. The Disney-owned streamers ad tier will raise $2. I have a add-on. I don't know how that all works, but it's all going up. I'm assuming this is because Grandma and Grandpa are going to be like, "Oh, we should get Disney Plus for Thanksgiving for the kiddos," which is why they do that. That's why they did it originally. That's why they're doing it. So forth. Sinram asked me. Well, I'll get. Sinram did ask me a question about that in the questions. I'm not sure if I should read it now or not because I kind of want to talk about it since we're on the subject. But I'll just sorry, Sinram. Well, it's relevant to the conversation. I don't do this a lot, but Sinram asks, now that ABC Disney has lifted Kimmel's suspicion, what would your guess be as a percentage of Disney Plus cancellations that will be reversed during the next few weeks? For the record, I haven't made a decision about that yet. Thank you for that, Sinram. Sorry to read it early. I'll try to paraphrase it again. However, what almost everyone says, and I think this is relevant, is they will come back when there's something to watch. However, here's the problem. Name me a big Disney Plus thing that is going to come out in the next few months that would make you sign up again. And in my mind, doing a price increase after all this shit was a tremendously stupid move. And the fact that the problem with this thing, and I think I mentioned it last week, is the problem is that okay, after this part I'll go get him. Problem is most people sign up for Disney Plus, or like grandma and grandma, I'm using these hypothetical, I'm sorry, will sign up for Disney Plus and probably forget they have it, and in April be like, why do we have this crap, and cancel it. But they do actually make lots of money based on people signing up and forgetting about it. The fact is they've now made people think about it, which is not good. And then they don't have a big thing. X-Men 97 season 2. Is there a release date for that? Hey 13 King style. So I think like if I was Netflix and I had Stranger Things final season, whatever season that is, I'd be like, oh, they're all gonna fucking come back on Thanksgiving. But the fact is that they are not going to get a big thing. I don't think they have a major thing for a little bit. Is really going to hurt them. And I do think people will come back eventually, but Disney Plus should realize that like if I were them and I didn't have a huge thing, it's going to be really hard to get people to come back. Now, Disney Plus with Hulu might work, and maybe they should start selling these bundles more. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. But I do think like if this was Netflix, Netflix can be like, you're gonna fucking come back for Stranger Things. I mean, let's be real. Everyone's gonna watch that. But Disney Plus does not have that, and this really does hurt them because they were trying to be, uh, uh, it did. Oh, I don't think I even got that, Jordan. So I'm sorry about that. Um, Google's being a little weird tonight. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry about that, George. I'll see if I can find it later. Is it in the? I do not see it. I apologize. I don't think I got it either. I'm sorry, Georgians, about that. But I'll go through it in a little. I That sucks. I'm sorry Google did that to you. I would ask them for a refund. Sorry. But I do think I don't know. Everything they're doing with this was kind of dumb, and I think they should have waited to do a price increase or just not done one at this time. I get that they always want to do that, but I don't think this was a good time to do it, particularly when people are hurting and uh. But yeah. All right. Let's move on for a little bit. Um. Okay. Netflix. This is a big one, right? Maybe I should have. Well, let's talk about the Star Wars stuff because that's semi-related. Um. Uh. For that. The Star Wars first there was the Star Wars Starfighter image from last week, which I didn't really get to talk about. It looks fine. It's just Ryan Gosling on a ship. I think we've seen a lot of water Star Wars stuff, so that's kind of interesting. But then there was the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, which I thought was fun and fine. I did think it was way too early because it's a film that comes out next May. Which I was like, why are we watching this in September? To me, I would put that out on earliest Zootopia 2 or Avatar 3. Like those would be my if I if I was working for Disney, I would be like, let's do one or the other. They didn't. They had to put it. I think because they had probably given it to a lot of different places to play it, and they were all probably like, "I'm going to leak it if you don't." That's my assumption. But they had to put it out. I don't understand why so soon. It did not go well. I forgot people are weird about Star Wars. I was like, "Oh wow!" But some of it was odd because everyone's. I kept seeing this thing. It was man carrying thing. Who I actually really think he's cool, but he had like a big tweet, and it was basically like, I remember when TV show to movie meant like you get more production value and all this stuff. But I was like looking at that, I was like, yeah, but like Disney Plus shows already have huge budgets. So like why would I was like lost on like what would they be doing exactly to warrant that? And like I kept seeing that thought brought up because everyone thought it was really smart. But I was like, but if you think about it, like Andor costs like a ton of money per episode. Like that's basically cinema quality. So like the whole idea of that doesn't make sense. People were like, "Where's the wonder in Star Wars?" And I was like, I thought it was a cool trailer and there was no dialogue and it was like fine, but it's also a teaser, and a teaser just like shows like, hey, this is a thing. It doesn't even give you the. It's not supposed to give you like the hook. That's the next one. I was just very lost on like the reception. I thought it was fine. I noticed movie press people who follow movie news liked it, and the people who like dip in and dip out hated it. I guess they didn't realize it was coming. I have no clue what everyone's deal was. I was like, this looks like Mandalorian and Grogu as a movie. I was so weird. I just was so confused. I think it was because the Kimmel thing, which is another thing. Like, just you should have just pulled it. Like, just waited. Like, I don't understand the need for it to come out. It's just weird. I don't know. I found the whole thing strange, to be honest. I thought it looked fine. I was like, oh, maybe I'll take my son to this in May. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should start showing him Mandalorian. That was honestly all I thought, and I liked how the font was like all like the kind of serial kind of things. But I didn't really understand. I don't know. To me, it was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, kind of, I'll probably see it. It looked fun. I don't know. I should maybe rewatch some of that stuff. Maybe I don't know. But I also don't get as upset, but I think people wanted like a big wondrous Star Wars trailer, but I was like, I never thought that would be that. I don't I don't know, but I think like maybe they should have waited. I don't think it was the right week to do it. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. In other sort of Star Wars related news, Spaceballs put out its sort of first announcement. First, they talked how Rick Moranis was coming out, and then they put out a thing that said they put out a picture of their table read, which is exactly the same picture if you look as the initial Force Awakens table read, which I thought was a good play. So good for you, Spaceballs. You're already killing it on that level. Rick Moranis, I do love that Rick Moranis said no to Ghostbusters, which other than that second of the new ones, which was still a mess, I think he made a good move. In I'll just do this one quick, and then we'll talk about Netflix and Warner Bros. A Spider-Verse movie moved up. That's right. We have a guys. I got good news for you. We moves up from the 25th. No, wait. Does it moves from the 18th to the 25th? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Does it? Whatever. It's out on Father's Day in June. It's the same month. Now I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Doesn't matter. We're fine. Anyway, it's coming out in June still. That's something. All right. So this did happen since last stream, and Warner Brothers is looking for a buyer. They need to. It seems like most of these buyers want to get there before it splits into two in April. So that seems to be the deadline most people are going towards. Where all of its debt goes to the cable channels, and then obviously the cable channels will go bankrupt in a year or two after that, and that's like their whole evil plan. However, a lot of companies want to just buy all of it, and one of them is Netflix. What I couldn't find about this, everyone thinks it's a horrible idea. I agree. The only way it's a good idea is if Netflix goes, fine, you can do theatrical, you can be theatrical. However, we'll still be shitty Netflix and not release to theaters. But Warner's, can you go do that over here? That's the only way I see it working for the industry as a whole, instead of just being another entity they own. Since it's Netflix, I seriously doubt that'll happen, and I'm sure they'll do something disastrous like take it away from theaters, and it would just be the most disastrous thing for the industry entirely. However, I'm optimistic they won't be that stupid. I'm not. I think it's a bad idea. I really kind of don't know who's going to buy them ultimately. I think the Universal thing, which they have not made a bid as of yet, seemed to be a little more understandable. I do think some of these guys will probably make new Looney Tunes. I'm cool with that, but we'll see. Will says, yeah, I can't follow what people's deal with Star Wars. They literally hate whatever's coming from the IP these days, but still watch it. I personally would choose not to continue to waste my time, but that's just me. I'm with you, dude. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. One thing I like about the Mystery Science Theater fandom is they watch everything and they like are generally cool. And Star Wars fan, Jesus, what a bad. Anyway, cheers to you, Will. Cheers to you. Yeah, and complain. No, they whatever. They should have just let Werner Herzog make a Star Wars. That'd be the shit. But I do think a lot of this talk of Warner Brothers Discovery being bought is distressing. I sort of hope it's not. I don't know. If I was Nintendo, the only thing that people have brought up, and thank you for your generosity, man. The only thing that people have brought up with that I will say is that um, James Gunn has not re-signed his deal and it ends in 2026, and that. Although I think there's a lot of other things with Warner Brothers. I'm not a superhero crazy person in terms of that, but I'm assuming they will re-up his deal, and I expect that news to come. I would be shocked if they just let him bounce. That does not seem like that's going to happen, but I expect that news coming soon. All right, where are Spaceballs? Okay, we have a couple AI's bullshit news. But before that, there was a first look at Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. This is a new film from Gore Verbinski. The film follows a man who takes patrons of an LA diner hostage after claiming that he is from the future and must save them from AI. Doesn't sound like he's too crazy to me. It stars Sam Rockwell. The image looks cool. I'm excited for this. It's Gore Verbinski finally returning. I think most people want him to return. I know Will wants him to return. I'm curious because I like him when he's all on his auteur shit, and I would very much like to see that done. And I think isn't January, it's like Verbinski, Sam Raimi, and somebody else. It's like auteur movie month, I believe. I forget who else it was, but I know it's Sam Raimi, Gore Verbinski. That's gonna It's like, not fuck you, it's January. Fuck this, it's January. How about that shit? It's gonna be, and Greenland too. We're firing on all cylinders. Anyway, sorry. All right. No, it looks good, and Will was talking to me about it, but I also hear that I have heard good reactions and stuff like that. So, but I'm excited for it. It sounds cool, and I like weird movies like that. So I'm down. I'm down. So in all three of these are, I don't understand AI news. Lionsgate. This is, so remember when Lionsgate's like, we're gonna make AI movies and stuff, and they signed with an AI firm. The AI video company Runway joined forces with Lionsgate in a partnership they hope would have AI generated scenes and potential full length movies of AI. Well, um, apparently it hit a snag. According to a report by The Wrap, the last 12 months have been unproductive. Not a great sign. Lionsgate distributed, but despite its huge catalog, apparently it is not enough for the AI to produce quality content. The Lionsgate catalog is too small to create a model, a source tells The Wrap. In fact, the Disney catalog is too small to create a model. This almost sounds like this technology is unsustainable and far too early to be launching at the time it is. And it sounds like a bubble that will frankly burst, and burst really hard. The fuck is wrong with these AI people? This is just like not working. You can't, like, I'm sorry, there's like 5 John Wick movies. AI can't figure out how to make a John Wick movie. Like, this is just, this is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Lionsgate sounds idiotic. Like, so many of these have like so many spin-offs and stuff, and the AI, like, do you know how structured the John Wick thing is? You can't figure out how to make a John Wick movie. There's directors who make Tubi shit who can figure out how to make a John Wick movie, and you're telling me AI is dumber than random ass dude on Tubi? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, you're asking me, like, seriously, just like type in cheapest action movie imaginable on Tubi, and you're telling me that guy is better than AI in general. As much as I love cheap genre shit and stuff, y'all fucked up. Like, I don't understand how you think this is like the like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And anytime I see an AI thing, it's just like, it's always garbage, or it's like, what if a monkey used a phone? I'm like, that, why would I, do you think, anyway, this is, so I thought that was funny. And then the other one is, I have 3 of these. They're all actual news. Sylvester Stallone, apparently, because he heard about this Rambo prequel, everyone, he said everyone thought it was crazy. His pitch was to utilize de-aging technology to have him play 18-year-old John Rambo one more time. He would partake in a prequel project that would feature, and yes, he would play young Rambo using de-aging and AI technology. Rambo. And then he said he would have AI James Dean and be in Vietnam. Although a prequel to Rambo, to be clear on this, I saw people in the Discord and talking about this, is the AI James Dean movie, I recall, was a Vietnam movie, and a prequel to Rambo would be in Vietnam. So technically, they could meet up under nonsense rules. They could meet up. So just to be clear on that one, it sounds horrible. I think some people need to let things go. Jesus Stallone. Will Super Chat from Will says, currently my most anticipated flick of the next year. Gore has been gone from the game for too long. Sam Raimi's new horror movie that weekend sounds awesome too. We got an exciting January ahead of us. Here, I agree. And thank you again for another Super Chat. Cheers to you, man. And I realize we have gone past the 20 mark, and actually, I think by a bunch of them, and I should have done this. As you know, I forgot to mention this. When we did pass the $20 mark, we do the flashy, and I believe we were past that by a little bit at this point. So I will have it flash, let's say, for like 10 minutes or so. But maybe if we hit another one, which I guess is soon, then we'll do that too. So thank you, everyone, for your generosity, and thank you, Will, for your generosity tonight as well. And then the final thing, and this is an AI shitty thing. This is a real thing. The film Together, and I actually did find the clip of this. I heard a couple of people saying, "Oh, it's a rumor." No, it's a real thing. A distributor in China unauthorized a AI edit of a scene in Together. They basically there was a I didn't see Together unfortunately, but there was an AI. There was a gay wedding in the film, and they AI'd or just did shitty CG over one of the guy's faces and made it look like a woman, so it was not a gay wedding. And Neon has pulled their film from that. Uh, uh, no, I know we're past. That's why I have it going for so long. I'm sorry about that. Um, but yeah, so Neon has pulled because they have worldwide distribution of Together, and they have pulled it from China because of they edited it without their permission, which is ridiculous. I did learn apparently in China AI is a much bigger thing. They do a lot with um celebrity like selfies with celebrities and shit, which is like whatever. Every person I saw posting goes, well, maybe these people should tour more in China. I'm like, maybe they shouldn't use AI. What the fuck is it like? I love when people go, well, maybe you wouldn't be so weird if you did that stuff. And I'm like, maybe y'all are being weird. How about that? Like, we're not. I hate when people do the act like famous people, like, just, oh, like, they obviously make stuff, but, like, anyway, whatever. I just find it very strange. I'm not like one of those people, so I don't get it. But the AI Together thing is uh, really unfortunate, really shitty, really homophobic. It sucks. Neon did the right thing when they found out and pulled their film. I think Neon is smart to do that. I think any Hollywood studio should be dubious of China. But the problem with the Chinese box office and what really led to this decline is because they get very weird about shit. Where the Spider-Man No Way Home moment, when they asked the ending to be changed because it's at the Statue of Liberty, and the studio was like, "Are you fucking shitting me? That's like the entire ending. Like, I'm not. We're not changing that." I think they like I think they courted a box office that ended up biting Hollywood in the ass, and it's that continues to happen because I've always read problems with these distributors, and to me it's like these, they've it's obviously a different culture and stuff like that, but like you shouldn't be changing movies without permission. You shouldn't be like demanding all this stuff. I think it like they cater too much, and that market is just like it's not what it was in the 2010s. They're like bending over to China. That's like sort of gone. And I think part of why it ended is because of dumbass nonsense like this. Like you just don't do that. It's also contractually like this is the thing when people do these things, they get like, oh well, now you have to pay a huge fee, and like I do think like what we're gonna see in the new world, like post this like authoritarianism thing, is a lot of capitalism is gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna fucking work with you. So like, you sound crazy. Anyway, um, okay. There is talk of a Nimona sequel, and like real talk, it's not even a weird like a thing from the writer of the original book has said there have been talks with Netflix, and it's kept alive when they keep meeting and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did because Netflix is very good at using animation, and I think Nimona was a hit as I recall, and it got nominated for an Oscar and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something with it. But it has been a bit, and I don't know if like my kids watched it a few times, but now they don't really talk about it as much. So to me, like it's not like K-pop Demon Hunters, so I'm a little like not sure, but it sounds like it is something Netflix is at least discussing and keeps going back and forth on. So it doesn't sound like there's real movement in terms of like there's a script or something like that. But at least if they're meeting, that's like if you are curious about this and do want it to happen, don't go. I'm not trying to like make you feel stupid or make you feel like you're crazy. I'm just saying like there are discussions, but is there a date? Is there production? Is there anything? No. Are they discussing it? Yes, according to the author of the original book. So that is something. So don't feel like it's not all is lost. It's just not all. We're not really there more than just like, hey, we are sort of talking. I mean, that's something. This I don't usually do a celebrity set a thing on this show. Most of the time, I don't really give a shit, and the quotes are kind of dumb. But I know that's like a whole entertainment news thing. However, okay, um, I really think Marlon Wayans, who I gotta say, I was watching Living Color this week. I was like, man, I love that show, and that theme song, just a great fucking theme song. That's anyway. I really do. Ever since I made that In Living Color video, I've been watching In Living Color randomly a couple times a month or so forth, and still a great show. Anyway, I don't know why it's not playing in a lot of different TV channels and on Hulu, but that's whatever. Anyway, Marlon Wayans, if you know him, came out this weekend. I did not. I don't know if I'll get to see it. This week's been a little crazy, but obviously the reviews were not great, and it had a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. I never checked that site, but that's a thing people care about. So this is what Marlon Wayans said, and I think also if you think of like how a lot of the stuff he's worked on, the reception of that has grown in estimation over time. You look at the scary movie films; they didn't get amazing reviews at first, and now they're considered classics. You look at, Don't Be a Menace while sipping on my juice in the hood or whatever. Like that didn't get great reviews, and now it's considered a classic. Like I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, In Living Color. Like there's a lot of things he has been a part of that didn't get respected at the time and then grew in estimation. But I wanted to read this quote because I think it's a great quote actually. Just to be clear, I respect critics. Their job is to critique. I respect their work and it shapes our industry. But an opinion does not always mean it's everyone's opinion. Some movies are ahead of the curve. Innovation is not always embraced, and art is to be interpreted and it's subjective. I've had a career of making classic movies that weren't critically received, and those movies went on to be classics. So don't take anyone's opinions, just go see for yourself. Love to all, him in theaters now. I was like, respect to you, man. Because like you could see those reviews and get really disappointed and upset, even though he got great mentions all those reviews, I will say. But it's it, it I was like, I thought that was actually cool of Marlon Wayans, who has an interesting career, and I think the Wayans are more talented than people give them a lot of credit for. Especially like if you watch In Living Color, you're like, they really like were very creative, very smart, very interesting people. I mean, they discovered Jim fucking Carrey. I mean, it's just like they really deserve. Anyway, the more times I watch In Living Color, it's like, what the fuck? Why isn't this like every time I'm like, why isn't this on Hulu? Like, there's so many channels that appeal to like black audiences and comedy, and like I'm like, I don't understand like why this isn't playing. Anyway, whatever. I'm sorry. But it is cool that he didn't say, oh, it's for the fans. He's just like, but I actually responded to, I don't think anyone responded to me on this Instagram, and someone was saying, I was talking to people. First off, he didn't name the movie, so fuck him. But um, he was like, I was talking to non people who aren't into film, and they were saying they love this movie that we all hate and all this stuff. And he didn't list the movie, of course. I kind of don't love when people say that, like, people who classics like G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Cheers to you, Nathaniel. I have a soft spot because that's the first movie I did a review for, or released a review for. Cheers to you, man. Um, no, it's this thing like people always go, normal people don't care about Paul Thomas Anderson. And every time I hear that, I'm like, hey, I went to like middle school and high school and stuff. I'm well aware normal people do not like these things. I don't fucking give a shit. Like, they can have their opinion, I can have mine, and we're talking about film stuff. Obviously, when I went to middle school and high school, and I bring up Buster Keaton, most of the kids didn't care. I'm very aware of that. It's not an amazing thing uh, to bring. I don't know. I never think it's like as smart as people think it is. I'm like, look, trust me. I meet up with when I see my extended family and stuff. They're not like, oh man, Jim, tell me about 12-ounce mouse. Like, I'm well aware I like weird shit, and I think like when people act like that's a big revelation, I was like, it's not a no. Like, it's people can have different opinions. I find it very strange that anyone would think everyone has the same opinion. If someone hadn't heard of K-pop Demon Hunters or Sinners or the Minecraft movie, I'd be surprised. You know what I mean? But like, if it's if it's like The Day the Earth Blew Up, I know that didn't do very well. Didn't do huge numbers, and I know like if you're not into that stuff, you wouldn't know about it. But I find it very strange when people go, "Did you know that the normies don't know about common side effects?" I'm always like, dude, what the are you stupid? Like, what the fuck is wrong? I don't know. I find that a bizarre, and I love it when people act like it is like an insanely good point when it's like it's not. Like if I knocked on my neighbor's door and demanded he know what smiling friends is, first it's gonna be like, why are you bothering me? But also like, I know you don't know what smiling friends is. Like that's fine. Like I don't. Anyway, I like when people go, this is a bubble. I'm like, yeah, bitch. I'm not trying to pop it. Get the fuck out. Anyway, sorry. Jordan says, creator of Kippo, Rad Surkris, I think I'm saying that, husband of K-pop Demon Hunters co-director Maggie Chang, may be working on Brave War for Netflix. Oh, what's on Netflix? Gee, oh, look at you. Okay, that's cool. I saw his Instagram and his wife's Instagram are pretty cool actually. They keep coming on my feed. Anyway, cheers to you, Georgians. Thank you very much, man. I hope you're doing all right. Sorry about the other thing with the Googles and stuff. Anyway, I thought Marlon Wayans put it well. I like Marlon Wayans. I hope no one responded to me because I got mad at a guy. I don't get mad at comments a lot, but it was like I hate when nobody like that. Oh, someone followed me. Oh, I know that person. Never mind. All right, whatever. Okay. I just don't like when people act like that's an amazing point. I'm like, yeah, I know my dad doesn't know what Chainsaw Man is. This doesn't mean Chainsaw Man's a bubble. It's still a good show. Anyway, whatever. I just find it weird, and every now and then someone acts like it's an insanely good point. I'm like, that's not. All right. Let's talk about the box office, but this is also let's talk about how Demon Slayer is basically just destroying everything because it is the biggest thing in the entire world forever, for all times. Um, First off, you saw a tweet from me. I should probably actually delete it because it was inaccurate, and I've been meaning to. So hopefully I will. But Demon Slayer did fall by 75%. I think I said 87 because for some reason the estimates on Monday had Demon Slayer at like seventh or something. It was like really low, and then the actuals came and it bumped up to number one. So I don't understand what was going on with that, but I saw other people say it really fall off. So I'm as I'm watching Chainsaw Man, I'm watching some other stuff and like trying to catch up on stuff, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll get to. I need to finish Chainsaw Man the show. I would like to just see what the manga is, and there's like a manga store near. Anyway, I think I'm just having this blink for a while because we keep hitting the things here. Will says yes, yes, totally agree with this take, Jim. Also, if you're so concerned with getting people to see stuff outside the mainstream, maybe we should uh, outlet invite them to check out the cool stuff. Check the cool stuff. Sorry, we should invite them to check out the cool stuff. No, actually, that is why I tell my dad still about stuff. He doesn't. I think I told you about the thing with him in Common Side Effects. It wasn't. I was like, no, Dad, no. Anyway, he didn't take to it. He didn't understand the concept of the thing. Anyway, but cheers to you all. Thank you very much for your generosity, man. But anyway, sorry, I wanted to talk about. You are right. No, we should keep telling people about shit. Okay, we're very much gonna have this run for a while. Just be clear. Maybe after box office because we keep hitting things. So outright invite. Sorry. You're right. Outright invite. That's a good sorry. I'm dumb. It's been a long day. Thank you for that. No, I do try to tell people about stuff. And I have gotten a lot of people into Smiling Friends. It's also because I will rewatch if there's ever a show I would rewatch a lot, it's Smiling Friends. I like love that. Sorry, that ending when they're in space, I just like the first time I watched it, I was just on the floor. That is an amazing drug. I love that show. Anyway, sorry. I just flat out love that show. I'm so excited for season 3. I'll just be a dork about it. There's sometimes I'm like having it was like I just need to chill out, and I'll literally just hit play all on season 2. And I like season 1 too, but lately, anyway, sorry. So Demon Slayer did drop a ton. However, it did one thing that and I want to preface this, no animated international film. This is only the second film, an international film that cost $100 million in America. The first being Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This one is the second. It is the highest grossing animated film from another country in America of all time at 104. I don't know if it needs to break 120. It's at 109. according to Box Office Mojo. It sounds like it'll end up being the highest grossing uh, um, internet foreign movie or international movie of all time. Um, which is insane. That's how well this fucking thing's doing. It's only the second international movie to make 100 million. The only animated. It's the highest grossing Japanese film worldwide. Most of which were animated. I think the top 10 was all anime, which I was like, hey, good for you. It is now the ninth biggest film worldwide over Fantastic Four. It is outgrossed Fantastic Four worldwide. And Crunchyroll has announced they will be doing an award show push for it, which, by the way, they should. No, Crouching Tiger isn't. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon isn't, I'm saying, but which is Chinese? I'm pretty sure it's Chinese. I thought it was Chinese. Demon Slayer also won't be hitting streaming on Crunchyroll until 2026. A Crunchyroll exec said it is only in theaters in 2025, which sort of makes sense. I'm okay with that. I'm not on Crunchyroll, so I don't fucking care. But I'm also like, I have a question for the chat. I'm assuming some of you know this Demon Slayer show, like, and don't be like joking. Like, if I wanted to watch Demon Slayer Infinite Castle, um, could you do that without having seen all the other Demon Slayer stuff? Like, I'm just curious. I feel like no, but like, what is everyone's take on this? This is not any. I really just don't. I don't have anyone in my life to ask, so I'm just like, I actually want to know. So if you're watching this later, leave a comment and be like, here are my reasons, or you only need to know these one things. Like, I've seen like 7 episodes of the first season, but I'm just curious. Um, um, about that. But I mean, good for this movie. I think it's really paving way for anime. I really think it's kind of weird that it's happening right now because the Kimmel things, like, I've noticed there's not enough people talking about it. Oh, this is the one thing I will say that's really interesting. So many articles. You guys will like this. So many articles. Because it's infinite, what's it? Infinity Castle, right? So many of them. I'm reading the article, and suddenly, Infinity Castle, someone in the whoever edited it, it'll suddenly become Infinity Train. And I'm like, at first I'm like, wait, sorry, is my reading comprehension gone? Are we talking about Infinity Train right now? And like, I saw that in two separate articles where they like, the beginning of the article is Infinity Castle. I should have taken a picture of it. And then at the end, it's an Infinity Train. And I was like, is Infinity, like, what? Like, I was just like, so do you guys all know about Infinity Train? Because none of you talked about it. And now it's very strange. I don't, maybe their AI spell check fucked it up, but yeah. Oh, doing it. That's a good point. That's a good point. No, I'm not against watching it. It's just like I always have a lot of stuff to watch, and like a smaller show that's like doable. When it's a bigger show, I know I'm never gonna. I kind of want to. I want to do. Uh. I might do a review of Chainsaw Man season 1 because I really like it, and I kind of would like to do it. Infinity Train is the name of the first Demon Slayer movie. No, no, I don't mean movie. Like, it literally, instead of Infinity Castle, it changes to Infinity Train. And it was the first one called Mugen Train, so it's like sort of a confusion. I don't know. Anyway, but it's just interesting to me. All right. Another thing, him did do disappointing numbers. It was actually the best opening. What was it? It was the best opening for a non Jordan Peele directed movie from Monkey Paw, which apparently that production company had layoffs, and a lot of people kind of thought they knew what was going to happen, which is unfortunate. The Conjuring, The Last Rites, is now the highest grossing Conjuring movie, not adjusted for inflation, and the second biggest horror movie of the year. The Long Walk actually held okay for what it is. A big, bold, beautiful journey. Like, I feel like even Margot Robbie being in it, the public didn't give a shit, which is not good for her career wise overall. I'm very confused on why she has weird taste, but I think that really pushed it too far. And then and Weapons is close to, if not, did it hit 150? Crossed 100. It's at 150 million worldwide. And then the other thing, what was the other thing? September was doing really insanely well. Um, like September, we were having like huge ups with like both Conjuring and Demon Slayer, but obviously this past weekend it like fell like a stone and didn't do as well. So this is a real September weekend. The other two were, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but but yeah, and Hell's Moving Castle for Ghibli Fest opened at 11th. And the Apollo 13 re-release did okay. I don't think there's much else. Oh, the other thing, so I was talking about Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man made is out internationally, and it's made $10 million everywhere that's not here, I guess, because it's coming out at the end of October here, but it's already making money. And then lastly, and this is a prediction thing, one battle after another. Projections are not great. I will say, I did post about this, but I'll repeat what I said. Um, is that first off, I think it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie starring a cool cast. I did think it's going to break the streak Warner Brothers has had for $40 million openings. I don't think this will make $40 million. However, let me say this: Leonardo DiCaprio and the cast have actually been promoting this a lot. I think it's not for a lack of trying if they don't get there. Leo's not a big box office guy, even though he gets paid like he's a big box office guy. Um, but and I do think like Paul Thomas Anderson, it still looks like he's gonna have his best opening ever. But to me, it's like you make his movies one for the love of cinema, but like they usually do well in perpetuity. So like to me, like I don't know, or like nominations or stuff like that. But I did post one thing, and I will say this: like most of the auteur stuff was posted because made because they were embarrassed post the Project Popcorn thing where they um, what was the thing where they had stuff go to streaming and theaters and all that stuff. So because of that, I'm kind of like I don't mind if it doesn't do well because I like it when Zaslav loses. But I'm also like we should not be talking about it as much because it's like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie should be talking about the movie, not its stupid ass box office. That's my 2 cents on that. I haven't seen. I want to see one battle after another. I don't think I'm seeing it in VistaVision or IMAX because like the upcharge on my Regal thing is like a little much. And for a little bit, they're like, you can see anything, and they're like, ah, just kidding, you fucking cheap ass. Oh, hey Samuel, how's it going? All right, so let's do a quick DC thing here. Catwoman. Apparently, the plan for Catwoman has always been Catwoman. There'll be a Catwoman HBO Max series between Batman 2 and 3. That's apparently always been the plan. That's supposedly why she's in 2. Supposedly, and Christian Milioti, who I didn't watch The Penguin, but apparently she gave a letter to her character in towards the end of or something. And so there's some talk of crossover, but it's all rumors and hearsay and whatever. But supposedly that's what's going on. Apparently, there is a hardcore rumor that Mahershala Ali might be cast as Hugo Strange. No one's sure about that, and I didn't know. Apparently, he was offered Commissioner Gordon. So that's interesting. He obviously didn't do that. As well as with Superman, we saw the script because James Gunn has to post online all the time. For I like him, but like, please go away. Like, just could you work on your movies? I don't need to see you on a podcast or a Twitter thing. Like, I feel like I hear him a lot, and like, you're not like me, who makes videos and stuff. Like, you're James Gunn. I'm so lost. But anyway, he posted a picture. Like, I don't think anyone hates him. It's just like he does it too much. That's all like. I agree with movie press people who get upset because they're like, dude, like, can you just there needs to not be a headline with you for a little bit, and it just he does seem to be a little addicted to it. But anyway, I like his movies. But I am also like we see you too much maybe. Um, but he did show a picture of the script, and they showed a picture of a brain, and everyone's like it's gonna be Brainiac. There's all sorts of rumors about who it could be. I actually think Rainn Wilson, who he worked with on Super, and James Gunn does work with people again. I actually think he would be a good Brainiac if we're doing the Brainiac from like My Adventures with Superman kind of Brainiac. I think that would actually be interesting, and I think it wouldn't be a guy who But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Blade. That seems to be a thing. We keep hearing a lot of rumors about Daniel Day Lewis in movies because he said, "Oh, I never left, dude. What are you talking about?" And everyone's like, "You definitely did, but whatever." You're probably gonna keep hearing about that until he like either picks another movie or just says, "No, I'm gonna cobbler again" or whatever. So fine. Now let's do the trailer section. I guess. Oh man, we have like. Sorry, I really can go on about shit. We. I do have some things to still talk about before I do. Not too much. I think we're okay. Okay, trailer section. I saw the trailer for The Bride. This seems to be the one. I think it should be the guy who did In My Adventures, but I don't think they'd do that. But I would be cool with that. I noticed James Gunn. Two things I wish James Gunn would talk about. I noticed no support for the Toxic Avenger movie. Like what the fuck, Mr. Trauma. And then no, I don't think he really talked about My Adventures with Superman. That one I might be wrong about, but I noticed no toxic. I was like, you talk all the time. You can't just give some support. I feel like that movie sort of needs it. Anyway, trailers. I have four since I already talked about Mandalorian Grogu. The Bride trailer I think is the one people are most excited about. It looked really cool. Looked really fun. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal's movie. Apparently, it costs way too much. It's sort of like a punk rock Bonnie and Clyde, Frankenstein, and the Bride. Also, like I think it makes sense that with the Bride, if you watch the Bride of Frankenstein, the Bride's like barely in it, so it's like kind of cool to have a Bride of Frankenstein movie where she's in it like the whole movie. I think is like a good idea, frankly, because I remember I showed it to Sophie, and at the end she was like, "The Bride wasn't in it. Why the hell is it called that? Why is it called that?" Oh, he did introduce. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I didn't know that, but I was wondering. I thought he'd do more. Sorry if I'm speaking ill. I was uninformed. However, yes, the Bride trailer I think is the one most people are excited about, and I think yeah, it was a cool trailer. I think it's going to be a cool movie. It's a lot of people are wondering if it'll actually make money. Who cares? Because I want to see a cool Bride movie. There was a trailer which is more of the hook trailer than the. This is sort of the teaser trailer for Avatar 3, sort of about the fire people and how Stephen Lang is going to team up with the fire people or whatever and go against Jake Sully and his crew. That it it looked like another Avatar movie. I liked Avatar 2 more than Avatar 1, so I'm a little like I'm cool with this, but I didn't watch Avatar 2 again, so maybe I should. I should probably like I reviewed the first Avatar when it came out, and then I took it down for whatever reason, and I don't even know if I can find that review anymore. But I should do a new review of the first Avatar. But it looked fun. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it looked like another Avatar. I'm curious if everyone's going to be super fucking weird. Like, remember when 2 came out and that one influencer, Jordan, whatever, was like, no, they said Avatar would make $40 billion in a weekend and everyone was giving it shit and it was very strange. And then it ended up being one of the highest grossing movies ever. So they really. I noticed nobody talked after that. Whatever. Greenland 2 or Greenland 2, where all the people are hiding after uh, the first events of the first Greenland, where they're trying to like survive. It looked kind of a weird survival movie, maybe. But I think I gotta watch the uh, Westinator. Whatever. Good one. Yeah, Greenland 2 looked like a January movie. And then it was The Astronaut, which is interesting with Kate Mara. I was like, that's a weird one where it's like an astronaut who is on Earth and her uh, helmet's cracked and she has like weird things happening to her. I was like, I don't know what this is. It doesn't look great, but I'm curious. I'm actually that was the only one I'm like, what's up with you? What's that? That was the only one I felt that way about. We learned at the trail. This is not a trailer. We're out of the trailers now. We learned at the premiere, sorry, of him that Tim and Eric are writing a horror script. They're saying it's sicker than most people are going to want to watch. I think I know a lot of comedians are going to horror, and I'm sure they're all like, um, looking at the box office stuff. Although Chris Rock tried and it didn't work, and well, I never saw it, but people don't like that. But they're seeing. I think they could make an interesting one. I would be down for that. I hope it actually happens. We learned that Zach Kreger said that yes, there's going to be a physical release for Barbarian, but we don't know much, and he didn't say anything. He just said, "I can't say anything, but yes, it's happening." Okay. I also forgot from the Honest trailers brought up that apparently when Jordan Peele didn't sign Zach Kreger's weapons, he fired his representation. That was interesting. I didn't know that. I forgot about it. I probably knew that and forgot. I was like, oh man, but that's crazy. Anyway, I forgot about that. Not Jordan Peele. I hope he gets to make another movie. It's been too long. I know it's sort of maybe not working out in some ways. All right. Also, as weapons, we learned that there is for real. Zach Krager confirmed. He said it that they are trying to do an Aunt Gladys prequel to Weapons. He said it is a real thing. He's pitched it. It's being developed. It is not a rumor. It is not like a thing that they maybe do. It is a real thing he's developing, I guess, after his Resident Evil thing. But we'll see the deal with that. Will says, with another super chat, thank you, man. The astronaut was lost from the release weekend, actually. That was supposed to be released 2 years ago. Oh, not a good sign. But I agree, it's an interesting premise. I didn't know that. That's ouch. Cheers, you. Thank you for the information. Okay. Um. Um. All right. This is kind of bingo. I think we're gonna run. I think we'll run a little long because I want to try to get everything in this time. Miami Vice. Apparently, they've set a date. It is for real happening. That Joseph Kaczynski, not the Unabomber, the movie director. I think that every time I hear his name. Do you guys? Probably not. Uh, he's doing his Miami Vice. It's going to be shot in IMAX. It is based on the pilot and first season of the show, which, by the way, if you know Miami Vice, is like the good stuff and is a cool Miami Vice. I still maintain that I think most of the public thinks Miami Vice is a silly, dumb thing and would much rather have like a 21 Jump Street version of Miami Vice or something. But apparently that is going to be his next film because he is working on a August. They're saying an August 2027 release. A lot of people have asked, what does that mean for Top Gun 3? Because Paramount has been very bullish about Top Gun 3, and people don't think they will do a Top Gun 3 without him. People have suggested all sorts of crazy things that maybe Ridley Scott would do Top Gun 3, maybe this person will do Top Gun 3. There's really been no real movement on Top Gun 3, and you can't do it without Tom Cruise. And I don't think Tom Cruise would do it unless there's either Kaczynski or another director. However, and Joseph Kaczynski just sold a UFO film to Apple. So there's a lot of confusion, but it does sound like Miami Vice is the next thing. We do not know who's going to be cast in this, but I will say if someone told me I'm making a Miami Vice thing and it's going to be like the pilot in the first season, I would say fuck yeah, because that's the good stuff for Miami Vice. I did used to watch it's a moody, weird show, but the pilot in the first season are legitimately very good. It's some great Michael Mann stuff. Having all these directors make Michael Mann stuff while Michael Mann isn't as big is super weird, but whatever. All these motherfuckers rip off Michael Mann. It's like, whatever. All right. Apparently, there's going to be Surf's Up, the property that you are always like, wait, why is it now with wrestlers in a sequel? And even though the first one is a good movie and directed by one of the co-directors of Frozen, they're apparently developing a show now. So okay, I thing is like I think Surf's Up was cool because it was like a parody of documentaries while also being an animated film, and like I think that is a weird property to make sequels and other things on, but I do get uh yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's just a strange property that every couple of years they're like, guess what? We're back. And you're like, does anybody do you just look at how the first one's doing and you're like, maybe more, but like, I don't know. If you're gonna do something with like a documentary parody or like do like American Vandal, not specifically, but with Surfs Up, like that kind of thing, I think it could work, but they won't. They'll do a shitty dumb thing. But hey, penguins surfing is cool, I guess. If Chili Willy was surfing, I would watch it. Okay. I think we're down to the last thing here. A couple things, but they're kind of longer things. Apple has delayed its show, which I actually saw Jessica Chastain appear on Seth Meyers, um, for to promote this. Like she was actively promoting it. The Savant, which is going to be on Apple TV Plus, was supposed to debut this Friday, but apparently Apple was reluctant to release a show about an investigator investigating extremist hate groups because they saw what's going on in the world and they thought, well, that's going to be sensitive. What if people think we're talking about that conservative guy? Um, I know Jessica Chastain says she's not aligned with Apple on this. I think I want to say I very much value me. This is her quote. Two celebrity quotes, which are actually good. I want to say how much I value my partnership with Apple. They've been incredible collaborators, and I deeply respect their team. That said, I want to reach out and let you know that we're not aligned on the decision to pause the release of the Savant. Um, uh, and she actually goes on about in the last 5 years since we've been making a show, we've seen an unfortunate amount of violence in the United States and references a lot of different things to illustrate a broader mindset that crosses the political spectrum and must be confronted. I never sh- uh, sh- shied away from difficult subjects, and while I wish this show wasn't so relevant, unfortunately it is. This Vaughn is about the heroes who work every day to stop violence before it happens, and honoring their courage feels more urgent than ever. While I respect Apple's decision to pause the release for now, I remain hopeful the show will reach audiences soon. Until then, I'm wishing safety and strength for everyone, and I'll let you know if and when the Savant is released. I didn't actually know. I only know that she doesn't agree with it. That's interesting when you read the whole quote, which I didn't until now out loud. That sucks. That like they're like. First off, if I think this is more of an indictment than the Kimmel being pulled off because like, whoa, we can't stop the extremist groups now, and you're like, dude, are you for real? Like this, like doesn't that make you guys sound like extreme? Anyway, I find it weird, and especially since he was on the press tour, and it's like it's also like it's on Apple TV Plus. Is anybody gonna? I don't know. I find it ridiculous, but I did hear that Tim Cook did go to Mar-a-Lago and like praise Trump. According to them, one of the places I read, he prayed Tim Cook, the chairman of Apple, praised Trump 20 times in a speech. So that's that's Apple for you. All right. No, it is not Q. Sorry, that's a little later. I'm sorry, I'm going long. Okay, Paul Thomas Anderson has said that he would have. He said he's very disappointed that Tom Cruise never asked him to direct a Mission Impossible, but he would have. Which I was like, sure, dude. I'm like, you never got the call. Did I feel like that's such a thing there? Okay, we're gonna. Um, I don't know. I was like, I think he was joking. I didn't actually see the video of it. So in our last thing before we go on break, and then we'll do the segment, and then that. Nick, if you want to write it in the comments, I will get to it later and stuff. I'm sorry if you're having to wait so long. Disney apparently is suing people over Steamboat Willie, which is in the public domain, as we all know. But they've been super weird about it because this all started because the personal injury law firm Morgan intended to push a nationwide advertising campaign featuring Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. And if you, I watched the ad, and it's very much Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. And they actually sent it along and said, "Hey, I think this is okay because it's in the public domain." And then Disney said no to it, and then they filed a court order that the commercial doesn't violate any of Disney's rights. Apparently, Disney has also sued other people for using the Steamboat Willie thing, including uh, I think a jewelry company as well, and like they have been actually going after people, and there's sort of a weird legal thing where Disney is still suing people over Steamboat Willie, and in a lot of places it's like legally dubious that they're doing this kind of shit. So I'm like, not. I'm really confused why they think this is okay to do. And it seems like Morgan was actually being very, I don't know I've heard they're kind of annoying and stuff, but that the fact that they apparently went to Disney and was like, hey, to our understanding, this is okay, and it doesn't break any laws. We just want to make you aware of it. And Disney was like, well, you can't release it. I think it's kind of dumb. I think they should like let it go because it sounds like they're trying to. Sorry, I need some water. They're trying to. They're trying to. Hey, Buster, you okay? You want come here? They're trying. Okay, don't do. They're trying to push their copyright on something that they don't actually. Oh, that they actually don't have the rights to anymore, and they're trying to do it no matter what because they're Disney. I don't know. Morgan sounds like they're being a little dumb, but the fact that Disney has pursued other people over Steamboat Willie stuff, I'm surprised they haven't sued any of the um like horror movies and stuff like that. And it sounds like they're open to doing that. So I'm curious where this goes ultimately, but like they don't have the rights any okay, you're done. They don't have the rights anymore. So they should chill out. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break. Then we will do I'll talk about Knights of Guinevere, the pilot, and then we will do questions, and then that will be it. I think we'll go a little long. Um, oh man, you're hanging out. I should have gone and picked you up. I'm sorry. I was like doing the show. I'm just gonna take a break and use the bathroom. I want to thank everyone for their generosity this stream. I really appreciate it. I think I'm gonna turn off the lights before we come back. Um, but we're really close to another multiple, so I guess if we get to that, I'll do it again. But anyway, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for watching and in general, all your support. Y'all are really nice to me. It's really cool. You're purring. You're happy now, huh? Buster's happy. Anyway, I'll be right back after this and we'll talk about Knights of Guinevere. Oh, good night, Medela Butterfly. Thank you for being here. And then we will do the questions and all that. I'll be right back after these messages or something. Okay, I'm back. How's it going? We are in the home stretch here. Um, what? Um, I should hold on. Sorry. Let's. Oh, we got a Morgan and Morgan ad. That's funny. It would be funny if it was a Steamboat Willie ad. I guess they won the case. But man, Disney's so weird. Like they can't give up Steamboat Willie even when legally Steamboat Willie has been given up. Is interesting. Oh, I wanted to say I've seen a bunch of stuff about this, and I mean to say it, and I'm just going to say it so I don't forget it. But maybe I'll say it at the top of the show next week. I have noticed, yes, as everyone's been complaining. Oh, don't freak out. These are pesos, but I've been on the chat for too long, and now I'm giving my piece. Thank you. You know what? I forgot to turn off the flashy lights, but I think that pushes it to another multiple. So I guess we'll just keep it going. This has been interesting. Thank you, Blood Tea. Cheers to you, man. Thank you for the pesos. Um, YouTube converts it, so but thank you, or for me, but thank you. That's a I always find it interesting in other countries, money. When they say this costs like what like 100 pesos, like how people do. I don't know. I never understand. I'm not used to it, so I'm like, oh man, that's crazy how that's how the math works there. Anyway, I'm like, but I'm not. It's just because I know it's just because I'm not used to it. That's all. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, one thing I wanted to say, I have noticed. I know everyone's done these like the algorithms change, all this stuff. The only thing I'll say, the real, and I have noticed because I do throughout the day, we'll just look at like what the views are and stuff like that, just see how everything is. It's definitely not behaving normal like it used to. But if you do put out stuff in general, the reason why I keep my Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter and TikTok and stuff is create your own distribution system to distribute your own stuff, because I guarantee you most of you see me through the Discord announcements. No, you're good, MLT. Don't worry. It's fine. You're good. Thank you. Anything helps, man. It's good. You create your own distribution system, because that way you should not rely on the YouTube algorithm. You should rely on your own build up your own social media distribution system. That is a far better way to do it. If you make your own stuff, always work on that stuff, because that is so important. And that's why I keep all those things, because I want people to find my videos. And I know sometimes, like, well, like I think I talked about how the bad guys reviews were. I think the second one got pushed a little more, but they're mainly pushed by Saber and Tariq. Um, so that, which kind of sucks, because you think like YouTube would like it because they're involved in stuff, but so like, just if you make your own stuff, just make your own distribution systems, because you cannot rely on. You should not ever rely on anyone else. Just rely on yourself in that regard. Just a word to the wise. Even if you ever want to make videos or make anything, just keep your distribution system. Even if like 4 people are watching it, you need those 4 people. You know what I mean? So that's sorry. That's my only 2 cents. I mean, it sucks, but it's like, what am I gonna do? I don't pay them. They, I mean, I guess I do in terms of ads and stuff. But anyway, sorry if that was a rant. But just for future reference, if you ever make stuff, just make sure you have your own distribution system and you know what's up. Sorry, one a YouTube advice from Papa Jim, I guess. Not that I'm sure all those other guys have better ones, but man, I do find, so when I'm going to talk about the Knights of Guinevere pilot, and I will say, like, I find people watching something and then reacting to it like super strange and phony, and like, I don't know. I've always wanted to do one, and it like, I'm just eating and looking bored and get up and leave, and then at the end I act like, remember this part? I was so excited, and it's like total. I've always wanted to do that. I never. Anyway, I need to do it at some point. Now when I do it, you'll be like, remember when you said that? Sorry, I'm just ranting. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the pilot for Knights of Guinevere. This is the new show created by Dana Terrace, who was the creator of Owl House. This is also created by Zach Marcus and John Bailey Owen. This is made by Glitch Productions, and to be honest with you, I was surprised it was made by Glitch Productions looking at the animation and the writing, because even for YouTube, I'm more used to the like most of when I review pilots, I'm like, well, the animation is really cool, but this sort of means nothing. And I do feel like that most of the time, like story takes a backseat to the animation, which is cool to look at, but it means gobbledygook, and it's not as fun. I have said that. Sorry, Karn Red. That sounds like something I would repeat. Uh, but most of the time, the story is not as important. However, Knights of Guinevere, although I'm not saying the animation is bad, it's not bad at all. It's clearly someone who understands how to use that animation to tell a story. Now, obviously, she worked on Gravity Falls and DuckTales and created Owl House and like is a very seasoned, smart animator. And also went to the school I went to, which I'm sure I mentioned in my Owl House episode 1 reaction video. And I'm definitely repeating myself. I'm 100% sure. But hey, I didn't know. She was definitely there when I at least worked there. So I probably walked by her and said, "Get out of my way." And she said, "That guy sucks." No, I don't remember her at all, but I'm sure. I think I projected for her animation history class, maybe. Anyway, I have an icebreaker if I ever meet her, I guess. But uh, this is interesting. I do think I've watched so many theory things and theories about Disney, which I do think this is sort of about, uh, and all that stuff. But I think this is definitely a very original, interesting idea. It very much reminded me of the movie Robot Carnival in a lot of ways. But what it really is, and I also want to say I give a lot of props to Glitch for making something like this. This shows me like they are actually interested in doing different things with animation. I thought they were very just into their own, uh, their own shit, and the fact that they're able to. I think it shows a lot about a production company if they're like, I think the Gaslight District and Digital Circus, like that, those seem like the same studio. This is like, well, what if you do your own thing? And I think that says a lot about them as producers that they're able to do something else. However, what I wanted to really say about this is I like the idea of it, and I actually this got me more interested. Like I would watch another episode. Maybe I'll do a review of the second episode after that, because I found it really interesting, and like I get why people would make all these crazy theory videos, which there's a whole industrial complex of that. But I think part of me was like, let's see where this goes. But it was interesting seeing these two women, Andy and Frankie, who are kind of like living this kind of like, I guess, this theme park planet, where they like, I don't know. It's hard to, man, this is a hard to describe, but it's basically like a theme park. And the main thing is this android Guinevere, who's kind of everything, is sort of like semi like the Mickey Mouse. It's called Park Planet, this planet spanning amusement park that's huge. But it's sort of like the people who work at the thing are stuck on the planet and kind of stuck in the economy and are kind of hopeless within it, and all seem to have this like people keep mentioning blue lung or something like that. Um, but basically like an economy ravaged by this theme park, which is mainly there for the rich and the wealthy and the powerful, and keep going as memories to the past. In fact, the only thing that I found interesting about the theory of it was they keep talking about Frankie and Andy talk about how when they were kids they saw this Guinevere robot, and they find an android obviously, and they're trying to work with it. And then when the Guinevere robot wakes up and sees them, they sees them as children, which I actually think says more about Disney than everyone's like, oh, that's supposed to be Walt, that's supposed to be this. And I'm like, I don't know, because it's so early days. But the one part that I was like, oh shit, that is an indictment of Disney, um, is the part where the robot sees them as kids. Because I do actually believe one of the biggest things and complaints about Disney, and almost every time I've done a Q&A at a con, it's been a while, but this question came up multiple times. Like, when do you think Disney would do adult animation? And they don't. And part of it is like the Disney adults love kid animation. And it's totally cool to like kid whatever you like. But it's kind of the view of Disney as a thing. And if you look at Dan Terrence and how Owl House went out and all this stuff, how they're like, oh, that doesn't fit the brand, even though it's doing well, so it's done. It's like Disney kind of views its audience effectively overall just as children. And I think it's like how the view of the parks, how the view of the movies and the animated movies and everything is to view you as children, basically, not as anything else, and how that endangers all of us culturally to have our biggest manufacturer of both animation and film and everything in certain years view us all basically as immature, and how that hasn't serviced us all. And how that doesn't service them because they're working there and they have real needs as people, and they're not being met because they're viewing them as immature. Um, uh, I will say the Disney figures are just ones I found on the street. Coincidentally, that's not a anyway. But if you want to read into that, you can. Maybe I'll cut this out so I think it's real deep or some shit. But I do think that part was the most telling part. The other parts, I was like, I think she's sort of going on her own shit, which I think is totally cool. She has not confirmed any of this Disney stuff ever, but that was the only part I was like, oh, that actually says something. That hit me, actually. But the rest of it is like definitely a lot of world building. I actually want to see where this goes. I don't think they played all of their hand in the first episode. And the fact that I guess these are gonna, I'm not sure when the second episode's gonna come out, but seeing how glitch, at least I don't watch all the glitch stuff, but I'm aware when these things drop because I'm in the animation Twitter, whatever. Um, this I was interested in. This very much in the post Avatar. Uh, I mean, I cleaned it off, but you're right, St. Powers. Very much played in like the post Avatar, The Last Airbender kind of thing of like building stories and like this didn't feel like a kid show, but it felt like sort of like in that. I do really think it's a really fascinating show, a really interesting show, and I really like the interesting world of it. But it's also like the capitalism we live within. You know, the whole idea of that none of these people like what they're in, but they're stuck within it, and they're trying to find a way out of it or to prosper within it. And I think that to me was like more of a thing of capitalism and the system we're all stuck within, you know. And I think that was honestly a really smart thing. I sort of got that from Owl House, but I didn't watch as much Owl House as the rest of you. But I do think this is a really fascinating show. I'm actually more intrigued by this than the Owl House first episode. Like I was like, when the second one comes out, because I know they're going to come out probably slowly. I guess I don't know if there's a release date. I'll check it out. Like it's a half hour. Why the fuck not? I kind of like where it's going. It semi reminds me actually the beginning of Force Awakens, which maybe that's a Disney thing. I don't fucking know. But like I liked this first episode. I thought it was a really cool thing. It very much says that Glitch Productions is pro animation in general, and I think it says a lot about them as a production company. I think Dana Terrence is a really smart creator, really smart writer, was able to combine things from like, you know, I know she does like more horror sketches and stuff I saw from various places than she does in Owl House, and she's able to bring out that side more, and you can really see that, which I think is a smarter way to age it up and felt naturally artistically. It didn't feel like I think oftentimes the problem with animation, and Glitch does this a lot too, is their natural reaction when they get to do a more adult thing is to sort of overreact and like have everybody say fuck and like go too hard on the sexual stuff, or you know, Ralph Bakshi's whole shit there. But this didn't do that. She didn't play all for her, like she didn't do everything right away. The gore and all this stuff felt very appropriate for the story. Even the weird stuff didn't feel like a weird deviation to like show off animation wise. It was a very smart, very great laid out thing. It might be probably the best animation pilot I've seen pushed on YouTube in years and maybe ever. It is remarkably well done, remarkably well written and well directed by her, and really knew what it was doing and the point of what it's doing, or at least for now. I'm really curious to see where it's going. I thought this was an excellent pilot, actually. I really like that they kind of, it's really good animation, but it didn't go off in the showy direction. She very much kept within her vision and didn't appeal to what almost all of these fucking things do. I wouldn't expect her to, because most of them are like, look what I can do. And she's like, bitch, I made that Owl House. I ain't doing that shit. So, I mean, why should she? And you can see that throughout it. So I think she's a very smart director, very good writer, and I like where this is going. Maybe eventually I'll see the Owl House. I don't know. But I really did like where we're going with this. And I think it's really curious to see how these people evolve and work within this amusement park planet, and like the capitalism, the evil capitalism society they're stuck in, and what's going to happen with the Guinevere robot and what the Guinevere robot means overall and the history of it. it's very much like just a tiny little sample of what could come from this world. And I find that to be really fascinating. I get why there's all these theory videos because you just want to dive in even more. I would say I'm definitely in for more Knights of Guinevere. Anyway, um, sorry to reveal a part at the end, but I guess I don't have to worry about that when I do a premiere of it because I just did that on a stream. So anyway, sorry about that. That's a spoiler. All right, I only have one Patreon question because I read Cinram's earlier. Apologies again that there's only one Patreon post. I need to check that. I'm sorry. There's always a million things going on. I'm going to write questions below. I do wonder when's the next episode. I'm sure people will let me know. But questions below. And we'll get out of here. All right, the one Patreon question, I believe it's only one, from Austin says, "Hey Jim, good show. Hope you're well. My question: Jimmy Kimmel to improve his show needs a new Ben and Jerry flavor. One to Stephen Colbert's. What should his flavor be? I don't think did Jimmy Kimmel ever have a ice cream because I know Jimmy Fallon does and Stephen Colbert does, but I don't know if Jimmy Kimmel did. If it was me, God, I don't know. I'm gonna say like, see, I want it to be something I like, but I feel like it's Jimmy Kimmel, so that's sort of something I don't like. So maybe it'd be rum raisin. Because I don't. Do people like rum raisin? I see in every ice cream thing. I don't know anybody who likes. I never met anyone who's like, you know what shit I like? Rum raisin. That's like, all right. I think that's it. All right. If anyone else has questions, so it's just cornbread and oh, here we go. Okay, cornbread. What the hell, Jim? Are you telling me all of your fans didn't come here to see you talk shit about Barry Levinson's Rotten Boy and his epic show for weirdos Euphoria? Why am I here? I just don't like. Anyway, I tried to watch it and I was like, this, like, I don't know. I grew up with people who were into that stuff, and it just never rang true to me. It rang very false. Anyway, Zane Powers. Oh, okay. Sorry, Nathaniel Fogu's mom. Don't tell her I said that. Just tell her I love rum raisin people are the best. Zane Powers. Sorry, of course someone's gonna be like. Zane Powers, do you think any of the studios are dumb enough to try and sack their talk shows to appease the right after Jimmy Kimmel incident? I don't think so. Although, see, the thing is, the funny thing about this whole Trump FCC thing is like, if you just waited, they were all going to end anyway. And a lot of people are saying maybe Kimmel will stick around because his contract was up at the end of the year, and most people thought he was going to retire, and he'll probably hang around now, which is ridiculous. I have heard The View is sort of in trouble, and they didn't talk about the Kimmel thing because they were worried about, oh boy, they were worried about what might happen and stuff. I know they're in a bit of a trouble, but other than that, I haven't heard much. But I do think we might hear another thing soon since the other two have been hit. I think like Fallon or Seth Meyers might get hit. Although Seth Meyers is the best show. I'll be 100%. I really love that. I think that's the best late night show. Have you seen any live music? And if so, what was your favorite? I saw Pulp with my wife, and last year we saw 3 concerts. We saw Pulp at the King's Theater, which is a great theater in Brooklyn. I saw Taylor Swift, which is overwhelming as fuck. And then like seriously, just I'm yeah. And then Casey Musgraves. I think Pulp does a good show. I hadn't really seen any concerts before COVID. I don't know what the last one I saw was, but my first show was They Might Be Giants. I saw Nine Inch Nails with A Perfect Circle opening, and they were new then. I saw the Rolling Stones. I've seen Korn. I think They Might Be Giants was up there. Taylor Swift was up there. I saw Pulp again at Radio City. That would be high up there. Let's say those. I can't think of. Maybe there's something I'm forgetting. Probably like seeing some of the bands when I was a kid in high school, like Parallax was a big one, or Apache Resistance, or Wake Up on Fire. These obscure bands. Those I saw Unsane. They were really good. Stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while though. It's been a while. Would Who should get a late night talk show besides Kevin James? It seems like there is some more talk of like who should be a talk show, especially because of the Jimmys. I actually think Amber Ruffin would be my number one choice because I loved her. She had a talk show. But if we're gonna go with someone who doesn't have a talk show, who should. I'm surprised Mark Maron did never get one. I'm surprised. Who's that guy who like summarizes stuff? And he's on the Daily Show. He does like things on like news bits on his stand up and films it. That guy would probably be good. Bill Hader, he seems to do other stuff. Anyway, will Emblity will one big battle after another? What? Wait, what? Will one big battle after another bold, beautiful journey ever beat the one big, beautiful budget bill? I think it will. Sorry. Black Sea Axwinkle, best pasta dish. Penne vodka is pretty high up there for me. Gonna be honest. I think penne vodka. I know it doesn't have meat or no meat. I'm down for it. Austin, did you see Barry Levinson's new movie Alto Nights? No, I didn't. I didn't. When I realized when I looked at it after the match, I was like, "Oh fuck, he did Alto Nights. That was a huge bomb." Nathaniel thoughts on Barry Levinson's toys? I have not seen that since the '90s. I remember thinking it was all right, and I remember L Cool J's in it. That's about it. Cornbread, you offhandedly, under your breath, joked about Nintendo buying Warner Brothers, and aside from the fact that Nintendo barely ever buys things out, what else do you think they should buy? Nintendo? We've actually been playing more Switch lately. I got my son to actually figure out how to do Mario Kart, which was fun. If I was Nintendo, what would I buy? That's a good question. I don't know, maybe like Minecraft or something like that. I don't, or no, maybe the deli down the block for me. That would probably be, but you get a free Switch if you spend it. So I'd definitely get a Switch then. Uh, you ever donated plasma? No, but I've thought about it. Don't trust me. Um, it's a good question. I was a random Nathaniel, but I have thought about it. I don't know how much you get paid, but I donated. That doesn't mean you get paid, does it? Embla T, why should we be upset about Mahershala Ali not playing Blade when he was at least Spider Versus Prowler? I don't get what I mean. The MCU post Endgame, I've thought about making videos on, but I feel like I've talked about it ad nauseum. But it is like so many different problems, and some of it is like they lost James Gunn, they lost Chadwick Boseman died, COVID, like this that. But another thing is like you could have just had a cheap Blade movie. I just don't understand what the fuck happened with that. It's epic fuck up. Cornbread, should Nintendo buy WB so they can make a Super Wario Brothers real? Oh, Warnio Brothers? Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. I'm sure they do a good thing. Jim, what do you think the future of Glitch Productions will be? Can I say independent, or do you think they'll be absorbed by corporate interests? Actually, doesn't seem like they would. I think they're going to make deals with people. So I wouldn't be surprised if Knights of Guinevere is on. Like, isn't Digital Circus on Netflix or something like that? I forget what the deal was with that. But I hope they don't. It doesn't seem to me like they would. It seems like people like their YouTube stuff. Like, I don't think they'll go the Mr. Beast route. I actually think Mr. Beast was maybe the last viable commodity from that. I think most people are like roll their eyes at the studios, and I think like if I was the studios, I would look at like didn't Knights of Guinevere do 10 mil? Like that's more than the Jimmy Kimmel return episode, if you think about it. So like, or at least like I think on YouTube his monologue got a lot of views, but like that's a significant portion of that. And if I'm a studio, I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? I think that's like not good. So I'm gonna be curious as this grows, and clearly animation is growing. We look at Demon Slayer, we look at Knights of Guinevere, we look at Digital Circus. Those are outside the studios. I think they should be looking at that stuff, and I think they will have to all realize something from it. But I actually don't think Glitch would do that right now. But I don't. I don't know. We'll see. What would Nathaniel Fogel? What would Conan's ice cream flavor be? It would be the tastiest shit fucking imaginable. There's no way. It would be amazing. That's what it would be. Zane Powers, is the fact anime is now so successful in theaters a sign that cinema has fallen an institute to the prestige and pedigree of Hollywood? I think it's more of a Hollywood didn't develop enough stuff for Gen Z, and anime was building and building, and they let Sony buy up everything, and they're going to pay for that. Until I will, the one thing with anime I will say that I know is going to happen is I expect anime studios to make deals outside of Crunchyroll and Funimation. I'm not sure how that will be possible or the deals with that specifically, but it's going to happen. I think that will happen. That there's no way that the studios aren't going to get in on that. Unplugged T, thoughts on people walking out in theaters, especially in premium theaters? I don't. First off, someone asked me this before, and I don't ever walk out because I never get to just sit down and not have to get up for 2 hours, and that is amazing to me. So you could really just show anything on that fucking screen, and I ain't getting up for shit. I'm sitting down, especially with those recliners. There's no fucking way I'm getting up unless there's a fire or I don't know, but like it could be the most insulting thing ever. And I'm like, I don't, I'll wait till the credits. I don't know. I don't understand people. I think a lot of people, I don't know, get offended too easily and all that stuff. I don't know. Zane Powers, can I fix her? Yeah, you'll be fine. Zane Powers, who's the worst person to get a talk show? Pat Sajak. No, I mean he was. Uh yeah, let's just say Pat Sajak. Jortons. Do you think Training Day should be in the Criterion collection? Yeah. I need to rewatch that. It's been a while. Penny Vodka fucks. Yes. Okay. In 50 years, when you have a day off of work because of Jimmy Kimmel Day, how will you feel? I'll enjoy the day. Um, Cornbread. Why are losers saying that the Star Wars trailer sucks? It had man, Cornbread. I like these are very Zane Powers questions, Cornbread. Why are losers saying? I bet that was a compliment. Why are losers saying the Star Wars trailer sucked? It had Babu Frick in it, the little rat guy from Rise of Skywalker. Did they see him? Will they like it if they knew Babu Frick was in it? I actually thought Rise of Skywalker had a few moments that were very Rick and Morty ish, especially the jumps, the light speed thing they kept doing at the beginning, and Babu Frick felt to me very Rick and Morty. I don't know, man. I think people are just like some of the comments. I was like, did you really like think about that? Like, did you just set that? I don't know. The man carrying thing. I hate to call him out directly, but I don't want anyone to. Obviously, I did find like the complaint that it didn't look. It should have looked more like a movie. I'm like, but what? How? Example. I just. It's not like the Jetsons movie. You know, did they want the Jetsons movie? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Oh, Bill Hader had a talk show, and I forget. Michael Ian Black's wanted a talk show for a while. I think he would be good for one. Minecraft is above Nintendo's purchasing weight. See, I don't know anything about games, so yeah. Have you ever donated sperm? No, I have not actually. Thought about it? Yes. Done it? No. I could have said something. No, we're gonna move on. Austin, did you like my MGT daily question? Did you see the Spider-Man? Oh, did you like my Magic the Gathering daily question? Did you see the Spider-Man Magic the Gathering sets? I didn't look at that, but no, I played Magic so long ago. Thank you, Corbett. Everyone I've told that to likes it. They're like, that's hilarious. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm not getting up. That's my favorite thing to do is sit down. Especially when they said sitting down's the new smoking and go, that's funny because you know what my favorite thing when I'm sitting down is. Have you ever no, hold on. Have you ever had to get stitches? Sort of once for not really, no, I don't think I have. No, although I have a cut on my finger from an axe, and I don't know. I guess that just healed. Whatever. I think it's fine. This is in the 90s. Which Zelda game would they adapt for the upcoming Zelda movie? Also, you think they'd let Guru Larry have a cameo? I don't know the Zelda games that well. I didn't miss any. Oh, Mr. Corbin. I'll go back to that. Uh, I don't know them that. I am assuming they would do the first one, but this shows what I know. It seems like Ocarina of Time or whatever. I feel like that one would be up there because people mention that a lot. I don't know the Zelda games that well. sorry. I would assume they would do like the first game or the first kind of lore of it. And of course, they'll have excuse me, princess. I would know this because I'm a gamer. Cornbread, have you ever donated sperm? Why is my sperm? Have you ever donated spam? I'm sorry. And why is my spam folder full of Jim? Is that you? Sorry, that took me a minute. Yeah, sure, it is. Any near-death experience? Explain if so. I don't think the one time somebody I was being annoying as a kid, and somebody threw like a major like almost like a branch of a tree at me, and it like broke on this rock, and people said it almost killed me. And I guess like that fight I was in, or no, I wasn't in a fight. The fight that happened near me during the wars. Oh man, it's getting late. All right. Same powers. Remember when Stephen Hawking died and people said the next Stephen Hawking by default has to be Elon Musk? I don't know who the fuck said that, but they're fucking dumb. Will the AI Filipino movie ever service? Only 40 minutes of the movie has been screened, never heard from again. Emblity. I hope it doesn't, because that is man, what is up with this shit? Fucking anyway, sorry. Fucking AI. Do you know Mel Brooks' son wrote the World War Z book? I didn't know that. Oh, that's awesome. I know they're really planning on doing more of World War Z. So, okay. Let's see. Did you ever see the Chevy Chase show? I've never watched. I've seen and read so much about it, but I've never like. I think you can find an episode on YouTube, but I always heard it was bad. I don't know why he did that at the time. Like, because he still could do movies. It's just such a strange. I know, like, people thought he should for a long time, like, even going back to the 70s. So that's why he did it. But I just always thought it weird. Does movie crap start soon? Yeah, it's going to start any minute now. Zane Powers question: doesn't it disgust you that anime is now so successful in theaters because it's a sign that cinema is falling and insults the prestige? What? Didn't you ask me that already? Microsoft's own. They also got a trailer for Ramon's version of the Spider-Man theme. What? What are we talking about now? But that is a cool. I like the Ramones trailer. I listen. Okay, these are the less. I love that cover. Uh, Cornbread, can you please clarify that? Don't have a sperm folder. I left the sperm egg industry years ago. I don't have unwarranted. I don't. Sorry, he said spam. Sorry, that made me laugh. Zane Powers, you all didn't you almost die when you went to the apartment where there was a blood stain in the car? No, I just peed in the toilet there and I went, ooh, that's not good. Rum ham. Did Tony Tan explain the mechanics of death after your near death experience? No, he did not. Uh Oh, I'm asking if you're disgusted to the core that anime is doing better than the prestigious Hollywood movies like Disney remakes. No, I'm not disgusted at all. I think there are people who are like upset, probably, or like I've noticed there's been not a ton of industry reaction, which I think the Kimmel thing ate up most of like industry podcasts about that sort of thing. Which that's the thing I really hate about the Kimmel thing. To be honest with you, is that I feel like places like the Ankler or places like that would not be talking about Kimmel. They'd be talking about Demon Slayer, and I noticed they've just avoided the subject, which I'm like, fuck you. Like, come on. Like, this is actually a pretty big deal. And once it's gonna become like, there's no way it'll make $10 million more. I don't think that's out of the range possible. I mean, it outgrows um bad guys too. It's wild. Anyway, okay. Nathaniel Fuck. Okay, we have 3 questions. Will Lucasfilm ever do a project as substantial as Monster Trucks ever again? I mean, no one will, so I don't think he will either. MLT, what's the next Gerard Butler movie getting a sequel after Greenland and Den of Thieves? What was that called? The Gamer? Why not that one? Or he'll 300 or something. Cornbread, are you closed minded because you fail to consider that the idea that it's a decorative bloodstain? Good one. All right. Should I see Hamilton in theaters? If you want to, yeah. Just be careful about the sing along thing. If people sing along, just be cool. Hello Haley. I don't think I've seen you in the chat. How do you feel about anime feels films beating Pixar Western Animation Studio. I think it's fucking awesome. And I think it's really good for the industry. I think it's really good for anime. I think it's really good for newer people to go into cinemas. It's really good for cinema. It's really good for movie theaters, and it's really good for anime. And I think if the studios are upset about that, they should find a way to counter it. But if not, then they should shut the fuck up. Like I don't think it's their fault for failing. I think it's anime had too much buzz going through it, and I'm really curious what Chainsaw Man is going to do. So that's going to be really interesting. Okay, I'll do Zane Fire's last. Rumham, what's your favorite cult horror movie? Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 actually. Evil Dead 2. And okay, last questions. When will the questions ever end? They will end now. That is it. Um, no, he can be in a 300 sequel in heaven or hell. How does that end? I haven't seen it since. I remember thinking it was a different take on the sword and sandals thing at the time. Anyway, I think it is time to end the show. I want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank everyone for the super chats. I'm sorry to your tunes about whatever happened with your thing. That sucks, man. Um, but I want to thank everyone for. Let's give a shout out to everyone who gave a super chat. Those being Austin, Bloxy Oxwinkle, Will, Medella Butterfly, Zane Powers, Will, Nathanafoga, Jortunes, Will, Emblety. I'll give Jortunes a second shout out because of all that. Thank you all very much. One thing, and I should have brought this up before. Um, I think the next stream will be on a Wednesday. Watch all my socials and stuff for an update on that. But I believe it'll be on Wednesday. So if you don't get to be here and have off on a Wednesday, I believe I will be here on a Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. But check all that stuff. I will clarify in the Discord when I can. Thank you all for being here. I actually had fun, and this was really good. And thank you all for giving me this outlet. And I thought this was a good show. I hope so. Anyway, I like Movie Crap Nation. That's interesting. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the videos that are coming out soon. I will see you all next time. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. See a good movie. Subscribe if you would like to. And see you next time. All right. Peace. Bye. Bye. Is that. Wait, are we? Oh.